Hello, in this mini training session, we're going to cover follow-on activities with workbooks. So good afternoon. My name is Tim Wilmot. I'm joined by my colleague, Peter Johnson, and our company, Wizard Systems, we're a leading independent provider of CRM solutions like workbooks. We help organizations use simple solutions to help improve their sales, marketing, and customer service productivity. So thanks for joining us on this little event, our mini workbooks training session, a regular series of short workbooks presentations focusing on different workbooks and CRM topics. And in this session, we're going to cover follow-on activities to improve your productivity. Now, this presentation will be about 10 minutes or so in duration, just an overview of this capability, not meant to be in-depth formal training. My company, Wizard Systems, will offer many extensive training options if you'd like to explore those with us. I know lots of you that are attending live have done that already, and I'll continue to do so. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got a question around this feature, or indeed any other workbooks topic, type it into the question box on your meeting control panel, and Peter and I will try and answer those towards the end. This call is being recorded as well. You will get an email from our system after a day or so with a link back to recording, and we'll most likely pop it up on our YouTube channel as well. Just a brief reminder about us and the services we provide. As I say, all we do is CRM, and we provide any kind of service around workbooks, the provisioning of the system, implementation help, training you. That can be online training with you or physically in person at your site, or you can come to our Bristol location. And also we provide help desk support as well. They're ready when you need us. Okay, I'm now going to pass over to Pete, and he'll take us through follow-on activities.
Okay, thank you, Tim. I'm just going to share my screen here. So just let me know that you can see that and hear me clearly.
Yep, looks good, Pete.
Great, thanks, Tim. Okay, so good afternoon to everybody. So as Tim mentioned, we're going to have a look at follow-on activities. This is a fairly new set of automated fields, if you like, that workbooks have introduced to help the action of creating follow-on activities. Often, and certainly the traditional method of creating a follow-up activity is to complete the activity with the notes that you've got, choose the complete and the follow-on, and then fill out the new one with perhaps a set time of the follow-on activity. So this new system allows you to do that in a mildly automated way, which I can go through in a moment. But if I show you first, just so we get some context to this, the traditional method, I've got activities here in my activity list. I've got a follow-on, a follow-up quote with Tim Wilmot actually here. So if I go to Tim's record, you would see this as an activity in the record under here, ready to be done. Now, the traditional method is to open that activity, and in this example, it's a call, and you would pop in some notes. So this is a follow-up quote, not ready to order yet, call back later. Okay, so I've just made some notes, and the traditional method for this would be to update that information with the notes, and then use the complete menu, and perhaps you want to complete this and then log a follow-on call. So if I do that in the normal way, and then of course I've got to set a due date. There's a new date feature here where you can actually set the date or pick ahead of time. So let's pick the end of the month, and maybe some notes and so forth, and then this becomes the new activity. So if I just label this as follow-up quote 2, so you can see this, save and close. So against the record and in my activities, I've got the completed call that I did and also the follow-up one. So that's the traditional method. So the idea of this new set of fields, if I show you, is to automate that process in some way. I recently actually did an implementation at a organization that does subscriptions and so forth, and the accounts team there were regularly making calls to chase payment for subscriptions. And as you can imagine, I'm sure we've all been there chasing payments. They're not paid yet, or they can't be contacted. And there's a method then that they have to do this each time and record that information. So this new option, which I'm going to show you, I'm going to open up that follow-up quote that's currently there, and the follow-up call, chasing the quote in this example that is there. And you'll notice on the screen here, I have a couple of extra fields down the bottom here. So I'm physically making the call, and I want to record the outcome of that call. I may want to follow up with a next step. So if I scroll down here, I might have some information about what needs to be done, the outcome of this call. So it was busy, call back later. And the next step would be perhaps to chase the quote again in the future. You'll notice when I raise or select this chase quote in this next step, this new field appears with the next due. And this is the due date of the next activity that's coming along. I've got a couple of choices here. I can choose the little calendar icon to choose a date. And a new feature throughout Workbooks fairly recently is anywhere there's a date field, the pick list, you can get a quick access. So maybe I want to call them back in 2 weeks' time to chase up this quote. And this time, I'm not going to use the complete button. I'm either going to choose save or save and close. In this example, I'm going to choose save and close. So what that does in the system, it completes that call, and you can see here the new chase call in a couple of weeks' time ready to be used. And here you can see all of the previous notes, if made any notes, and there's the call to be made in a couple of weeks' time. So you can see here these new fields that have appeared on my screen here. I put these here, outcome and next step, and also the date field for the next step date as well. A couple of things just to be aware of. You will need to add these fields on the screen, and also the next step does only at this point give you the next step as the same activity that you're on. So if you're completing a next action or a phone call, here this is a phone call, the next step will assume that it is a phone call in this example. So it is exactly the same one. If you want anything different, then back to the traditional method where you can use these complete options and fill those in a bit of detail. Okay, so as Tim mentioned, this is really quick and simple, but I think it's a big leap forward. Certainly if you're making lots of similar types of calls in this example, or similar activities throughout the day where you repeat yourself, and there's a standard set of options that you want to choose in the outcome or the next step option. Okay, Tim, any comments on that?
I would just say it's a great way of improving your productivity and making sure that nothing sort of slips through the net there, with important customers being followed up. Just makes the whole process a lot easier.
Yeah,
right.
Agreeing entirely.
I think we'll go into, and if you've got any questions, please, around this feature or anything to do with activities, or indeed any general Workbooks questions while those listening live while you're online, please pop those into the questions section on your meeting control panel. There's a couple that have come in. Question from Kira: how do you adjust the list of next steps?
Oh, so Kira, yeah, so that list of actions in that next step here is just a standard pick list, as is the outcome. So in the normal kind of pick list way, start, configurations, you might need your administrator to do this. If I go to pick lists, I've got a little look up here. So activity next step, and you can see here in a normal pick list way, you can add, and there's my chase quote one that's in there, add them in the normal way. Yep.
Yes, I'm not sure who's your administrator or if you're just the only user, but yeah, not everyone may. You can imagine if everybody's got that capability, you might end up with a messy system. Next question from David. Are the new fields automatically available, or do we have to configure workbooks to be able to see them? That's from David.
Okay, yes, David, these are standard system fields that can be added to the screen. You'll find them available in the choice of fields that you can make available on those layouts and screens. Again, probably an administrative job, so your administrator, David, if it's not you, you can get your administrator to put those on the screen within those activity areas. Very simple to do.
Yes, similar question from Rich. How do I get those fields on my activity screen? Rich, I know your company has got what we call admin credits. You're subscribing to admin credits from us. And for anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about or doesn't, yeah, thanks, David. Anyone doesn't know that, admin credits is our primary support service for workbooks, and it includes two main things for you. It gives you a dozen 15-minute, up to 15-minute sessions that you can use as you want to with us for little bits of top-up training or enhancing the configuration of your workbook system or whatever the task might be. If you don't have the time or resources to do it, then contact us, and that's what those admin credits are for. And secondly, while you have those admin credits, you can use our help desk service. You can phone us, contact us as many times as you want to with any ad hoc questions. So, Rich, I know you have admin credits with us, and we'll contact you after this event. Right, I don't think there's any more questions coming through, Pete, so thanks the three of you for asking those questions. Well, we're done then. As I say, we organize these short sessions on a fairly regular basis, and if you've got any ideas for future workbooks, training topics, anything that's on your mind, and you think that might be of interest to the workbooks community, just please contact myself, Tim Wilmot, or Peter Johnson, Peter at wizard-systems.com, or I'm Tim at wizard-systems.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much. Catch up with you on the next event. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.